Alrighty, so today we are back with another anniversary sort of discussion video. You guys know we are in the sort of dry period before the anniversary, so that's basically all we are just talking about, anniversary this, anniversary that. So with that being said, the focus for today, I want to speculate on some potential new mechanics that the anniversary could bring, and just for the fun of it, associate a character to that mechanic. Now, when characters that we have to kind of cross off the list for the anniversary, right? In my opinion, I think that anything from the worldwide download celebration, you can basically just bet your bottom dollar that we are not going to be seeing renditions of these characters. So on the off chance that maybe we see like a Super Broly again, which I highly doubt, there is like, we can rule out Broly, we can rule out the Family Kamehameha, we can rule out the Broly trio, right? We can rule out this Broly, we can rule out Jiren, Gotenks, right? Cell Max. I think a lot of these characters are not going to be eligible for the anniversary. But what I want to do specifically is more focus on the characters that actually do have a pretty high chance of being anniversary characters and sort of tying them to a mechanic. So the first one I think that would be a really good example would be a fusing Super Vegito or just a regular Super Vegito. But what I would like to see in this specific instance would be the choice of a fusion with Goku and Vegeta. So if they want to do like a base Goku and Vegeta, what they could potentially do is have active skills, and this would be making things very complex, but let's just say like you're on the screen, right? And when you're on the like battle screen, when you have the option to do an active skill, they're going to give you an option to swipe up, swipe down, swipe to the side, whatever it may be, press a button, and you will have the choice of who you want to fuse into. So we could either go into Vegito or we could go into Gogeta. I think that they could easily do like a Super Saiyan version of this for like one headliner, and then the other headliner could be like a blue version of it with the Super Fusions as well as the Z Fusions. I think this sounds like a super easy, not easy to implement idea, but an easy idea in terms of like where we would want to be, right? I think that all of these characters, like a Vegito and a Gogeta, could obviously headline and take care of an anniversary on their own, and this would make things very easy for like the headlining and stuff. But where that gets a little bit complicated is I don't know where the game is at technically, right? In terms of like the requirements and stuff like that. Like Dokkan is a massive game in terms of storage, but the hardware that it runs on, from what I can tell, is not state of the art, if you will, right? Maybe for a mobile Dragon Ball game it is, but it is kind of tough to tell based on the way that things look. You know, HD card art doesn't exist and stuff like that, and the game is still very, very large in terms of the overall like storage that it takes up on your phone. I know for, you know, people that have devices that maybe only have like I don't know, 64 gigs or 128 gigs, Dokkan can be quite the haul in terms of storage, right? So that is where things can get a little bit tricky, but I think for a fun mechanic here, this would definitely be like my first rendition of it, a option to choose multiple fusions, and this would be for like a Vegito or a Gogeta card. Okay, so what if for the next character, this one's going to be a little bit complex and I have to kind of put it together here a little bit, but what if we had a domain, like a character that is introducing a domain, but the nullification of that effect is different? So with Tech Ultra Instinct Goku, what this brought to the game was the disabling of dodge, but what Tech UI's domain did, if you don't remember correctly, what essentially it did was it took away the nullification of the nullification. So characters were able to dodge with Tech UI's domain. Now, for like a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta for the anniversary, what I would like to see is something of this effect, and it would be, instead of anti-dodge nullification, it would be the introduction of two different things. The first thing would be a boss that disables the ability to revive or have like damage reduction or something like that, and then this character, like this Gogeta, his domain would override that. So a character like Fat Boo could still have value in stages. The characters like the 6 years, they would still be able to utilize their revival skills. I just think that it would be a fun way to give us new domains and unique ways to play the game, and just for the hell of it, I'm tying it to a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. This guy is like just able to sort of transcend the power of the boss, if you will, and give you the ability to revive and get back up. I don't know if this Gogeta would be like the best instance for this. Maybe a character like Omega Shenron, or like a regen character like an LR Kid Buu, haha, right? Like, it's just sort of interesting to put it that way, and I think that there is a decent chance that we could see something like that, because technically something like this sort of exists, but instead of it being dodging, it would be reviving. So that would be the next mechanic. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so for this next one, I am going to call this the Ignore Enemy Conditions attack. and this is going to be the 18 key for a potential Father-Son Kamehameha LR Gohan. What better way to establish the power of a character aside from giving him an attack that just ignores the conditions of a boss, right? So let's just say, like, this character lowers attack and defense on his super, right? Like where he does right here on the 12 key. So what this could potentially do is in the Father-Son Kamehameha version of it and all that, like the big attack for this character, what that could potentially do is pierce through the enemy's ability to disable it. So this guy is sort of like ignoring a lot of enemy buffs and stuff like that, right? I think it's a fun little way to make the character super overpowered and be able to assist the team by lowering the attack when they potentially can't have that, right? I think that would be a super valuable thing and make you want to run two of the characters, and it sort of could be a fun mechanic. It's sort of tough to say who this would go to, but I'm just thinking like of it like a super powerful attack, right? Like a Gogeta times 100 Big Bang Kamehameha, or a Father-Son Kamehameha, or like some sort of Dokkan original Gogeta and Vegito Kamehameha at the same time, right? Something along those lines where it's just like an all-encompassing attack that does a ton of damage. And in this case, what it would do is just ignore buffs that the enemy typically is immune to, or debuffs that the enemy is immune to. So it would be able to lower attack, it would be able to stun, it would be able to seal. It essentially puts this character on a different playing field and allows them to just ignore things that typically they would not be able to in a traditional sense. So this one's a bit of a pipe dream and I think a little bit out there, but again, that's kind of the point in this video, just having fun, talking about some random mechanics and stuff like that. I think this one would be probably my favorite of the bunch just because of how useful it would be. You would almost always want to be running double Father-Son Kamehameha because that ability would just be so clutch in combination with other things like taking away supers, lowering extra attack, defense, stuff like that. Would just really make for easier boss fights, and I think that a Father-Son Kamehameha Gohan would be perfect for that. I know that some of you guys are definitely not a fan of Dragon Ball Saga for the anniversary, and I would honestly say that I agree with you in terms of it being a headliner. I love Dragon Ball, but I don't know if for an anniversary headliner, it's really what I'm looking for, personally. But here we go, right? Imagine we get an LR Kid Goku, but what this guy would do is specifically change orbs to a typing or to rainbow orbs, but what this Goku in specific does is he sort of think of this like the way that Path to Power Kid Goku works in Legends, where it's super easy to get Dragon Balls with that character and he gets buffs with those Dragon Balls, right? Now, I know we have an orb changing with Dragon Ball's character in the game already in Dokkan being the Family Kamehameha character, but what this guy would be doing is just changing rainbow orbs, and instead of it being like a standby with Dragon Balls, it would just help you get the Dokkan attack faster. So this, I don't know if that's possible, but I think that could be a really interesting mechanic and would be pretty valuable, because I feel like the Dokkan attack is just something that you don't really, unless I'm just playing the game wrong or my quote unquote my teams are too good, which is definitely not the case. I have a lot of 55% on my JP, but I really don't feel like the Dokkan attack, unless you're going like 9-10 turns in these fights, is really that prevalent. So what if we had like a Kid Goku from Dragon Ball and the focus is on the Dragon Balls, and essentially what this would be, he would be creating, like, what if he just created like Dragon Ball orbs that are rainbow orbs or something that increase the Dokkan meter even faster. If you get 7, you get like a big buff to it or something. I don't know, just kind of an out there mechanic that could potentially be fun. All of these so far, I haven't really had any, there's no like loose confirmation within the game or anything like that these could potentially be happening. It is sort of just where the wacky mind of mine is going, right? Sort of just a kind of fun idea, but I am not sure. But there we have it. Just a few mechanics that I thought would be kind of an interesting thing to discuss. I think that if you want to leave this video, here are things that I would like to see for the anniversary. I would like to see the choice of which fusion you would like between Gogeta and Vegito. I would like to see the attack and defensive lowering immunity, or like the nullification of it, so the ability to bypass enemy immunity to debuffs from like a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I would like to see a revival nullification nullifying domain, so like a boss that nullifies revival, and then an LR in turn that has a domain that ignores that, akin to Tech UI Goku. And then last but not least, here you guys see a Kid Goku that has a Dragon Ball sort of gathering Dokkan attack increasing sort of mechanic, right? It's kind of tough to put it into words, but he's basically just going to be able to help you get to the Dokkan attack faster. That way we can utilize it more, potentially go for more healing and stuff like that. So let me know down below what you guys think of these potential ones. I think that there's a good chance that the 10th anniversary debuts some crazy new mechanics, right? The game is at a pivotal junction right now. The 10th anniversary, in 2025 as a whole, they've really kind of put up on a pedestal here as we've gotten started. So Let me know what you guys think down below. If you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, so that we don't miss out on any of the Dokkan content we're posting around here. We're getting closer and closer to the anniversary, and I look forward to experiencing it with all of you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.